What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is March 11th, 2024. Yeah, man, months are passing by again. Fast days, each day, day in, day out, stuff like that, right? And, as life continues to pass you by, depending on what you're doing, it could be rather enjoyable, right? Spending time with your family, your friends, your loved ones, and stuff like that. And, in a way, learning new things about yourself, right? When you go out and try to experiment with different things and learn new things, or maybe take whatever you know currently and try to move it to the next level, try to push yourself, it doesn't matter in which regards you do that with, you're trying to be a mechanic, you're trying to be a boxer or something like that, there's always room for improvement. And you got to be able to, in order to do that, you got to be able to get past and acknowledge and get past some of your weaknesses by working at them, right? And not just by acknowledging that they exist, but by also working towards getting better at those areas, right? Stuff like that. Let's say you got like you're weak at like slipping punches in boxing, obviously you got to work it. You got to be put in those situations in order to be able to overcome that, and stuff like that. So that's what, training camps are for. Basketball, you have a weak crossover, you got to cross it over. And, it pertains to anything else in life, if you're a parent, I know myself, I've been known to have like a shorter fuse, but, being able to acknowledge that and work at it and think before you speak and make sure you fairly evaluate like the situation that's going on, right? Sometimes, did you set your kids up for failure or something for them to cause trouble? That's a good question, right? Evaluate it before you just get upset or anything like that. I guess that kind of tied into the last one where I was like, I gave my son chocolate milk and he spilled on my keyboard, because I allowed him to do that outside of leaving the kitchen, which we don't usually do, right? And so that, that's me taking accountability for my own actions, and that it was myself who set him up for that, right? And stuff like that. Yeah, it's the same thing, right? Because sometimes, not sometimes, but quite often, our actions, especially in like team sports and stuff like that, can affect those around us and stuff like that. And, you make the wrong pass and, everybody has to transition to defense. And, somebody's got to pick up your slack if you're not performing to the standard that you normally would or where you're supposed to be or, stuff like that. And, it can create a lot of tension on those around you and stuff like that. So in order to try to lower that and stuff like that, you gotta see what you're doing wrong in order to work at it and make it better, and maybe try to alleviate some of that stress and tension that goes on and it affects your day-to-day life, right? I don't know, stuff like that. And if you're trying to just start lifting weights or something, you gotta, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, right? It's something new, and especially the first couple times, it can be kind of discouraging for some of those burns, right? I got to work out with some people that never really worked out before in the past when I was younger, and I wasn't too mindful of, that not everybody's able to push themselves past their limits to as far as they can, right? And the next few days they were destroyed because they weren't used to that level of work, and it discouraged them from continuing to go on because from then on they started making excuses of, I don't want to get big, I don't want whatever. I felt like I don't like that burn because I'll look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. People make excuses like that and stuff like that too. But it's like, oh man, maybe it was too much for them. Maybe they have to think about lightening up. But you know, it sucks too because they have to see their own errors too. Because if you do say something and they're like, "Oh, I'm fine. I can do whatever. I'm equipped for whatever," and then they go ahead and push themselves a little bit too far, not realizing that the next couple days can be hell, especially if you do like squats or deadlifts or something. Because I'm telling you, the first couple times, even if you don't lift for a long time and you lift again, and oh man, because I just started doing deadlifts again recently, about a month and and a week ago. So, but it's almost like being there for the first time, except you're a little bit stronger and you might know a little bit more about techniques and stuff like that, right? And but I was destroyed for days, you know, and it's like, holy crap. But it felt good to get back in there and do that stuff. But I knew not to push myself too much because over the years, due to injuries, I had to keep going, restarting back up and trying to pick up from there and stuff like that. And because of that, I realized that, you know, just because I could do it last time, which could be a year plus ago, you know, or even more in some cases, doesn't mean that you can pick up exactly where you left off, because your muscular endurance isn't going to be the same. It's not going to be able to do that, because it's not only just your muscles, but it's also your central nervous system and stuff like that. So it's highly affected, especially in stuff like deadlifts and squats and stuff like that. Oh, that can fry you out quicker. It's way more grueling, and it's a bigger challenge than doing like a bench press and stuff like that. But bench presses are hard. But when you do stuff like squats and deadlifts, it's whole different monster, right? Especially if you come back to it and trying to push yourself and stuff like that. And you know, especially if your work requires you to do a lot of walking, bending over, and stuff like that, it could suck, and it'll discourage you. But anyways, you know, you just got to acknowledge those things and try to move on. You live and you learn and you try to get better, right? And so that's just life for everybody. But, you know, I'm going to cut this ramble short, and I hope you guys had a good one. Maybe learned a thing or two, or maybe you've seen some of these situations in your own life that you know, you can apply these things too. So, but anyways, if you guys enjoyed this content, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I do appreciate it. And if you're returning, thanks for coming back, guys. And I hope to see you guys again in the future. Peace.